Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. As the title suggests, we are taking a look at which iron is going to suit your game best. Quite a difficult question to answer without seeing you hit some shots or know much about your golf game. But what we're going to do during this video is go through the entire product line of a certain brand. Today we're going to feature Callaway. So they have 9 models of iron in their current range. I've broken these 9 irons into 3 different categories. So kind of a mid to high handicapper, a kind of mid handicapper, and a low handicapper sort of section. We're going to talk through the type of players that may suit each type of iron and hopefully give you a bit more of an indication as to which one might suit your game the best. So we're going to start with the most forgiving. Okay, so we've got 4 irons here that I've picked out in the Callaway range, all doing very different things. So we can see here we've got all the way from the famous Big Bertha, we've got Ai Smoke HL, Ai Smoke Max Fast, and also the Apex DCB. Now we've got very, very different irons here. Let's start with Bertha. Okay, so this is the iron that is packed with probably the most game improvement technology that Callaway offer. Now you can see the sole is pretty wide. There's also quite a bit of offset on that golf club as well. So if you're that player who has that bit of a slice, if you struggle to get the ball airborne, many players who do come over the top and hit across it, obviously hit down on the ball a lot and sort of chop at the golf ball, which forces it to launch quite low. These irons are helping to stop that, right? There's loads of tungsten. You can see the word tungsten on the back of it there. There's a big weight in the back of the head, trying to get as much weight low and deep as possible to help get underneath the golf ball and help you launch it. Now, the offset will also help with that slice too. So having the head or the face set back from the hosel almost draw biases the iron a little bit as well. So if you're that player who does move the ball a lot from left to right, maybe does struggle to get it in the air a little bit, Big Bertha could be the iron for you. When we go into some of the other irons in the range, so I've got 2 Paradym ones here. So we have the Ai Smoke HL, so high launch, and then also the Ai Smoke Max Fast. Now, looking at them, they're quite similar. The HL slightly wider in its sole. Okay, so again, similar to Bertha, where we're trying to get that ball in the air easier. We've got some offset on the head as well. We've got tungsten low particularly in the toe to shift the CG. But then the Max Fast also falls into this category. It's quite similar in its look and very similar in terms of the sole width. But Max Fast is called that because it's a slightly lighter weight head. It also has lighter shafts that kind of accompany it. So if you're that player who really struggles with speed, maybe if you're getting on a little bit in years or getting a little bit weaker in terms of how quickly you swing the golf club, Max Fast could be a great option for you to gain back some of that lost club head speed. When we then move into the Apex franchise, this is kind of the entry into Apex, if you like, in the DCB. So basically it's a forgiving, kind of more wider soled. You can see the top line's a little bit bigger. The kind of weight is a little bit lower and deeper in the head as well. So this is an iron that is gonna kind of, like I say, is almost an entry into Apex. So it's for that player who does need loads of forgiveness, but also wants that premium forging kind of look and feel of the Apex iron range. You're going to get that in the DCB. So the next 3 irons we're going to look at in the Callaway family are we've got 2 Apex and 1 in the Ai Smoke, right? So I think these can suit anyone of a handicap from sort of low to mid single figures all the way up to high teens and 20s, really. It really depends on how good a ball striker you are, because the forgiveness that you get in these is less than the other 4 that we've just looked at, but still pretty high, yeah? You're still gonna get a decent amount of forgiveness in all 3 of these irons. The Apex Pro probably slightly less than the others, but we'll go into each of them and discuss that. So we'll start with the Ai Smoke iron, right? So we can see this is much narrower in the sole, and also the top line doesn't have quite as much offset as we saw in the HL version. Now, this is an iron that will suit that player who maybe already gets it in the air more than easily enough, maybe needs to lower that ball flight, lower spin potentially, but still needs some of that forgiveness. We've got lots of tungsten low in the head here as well to aid that. It's also going to be quite an easy iron to get in the air, to be fair, but maybe not as easy as the HL model that we saw before. As we move into that Apex range, we see the standard Apex iron here. Like I say, it's been out for a while. It's got a nice wide sole on it, slightly wider top line, and again, not not quite as much offset as we saw in the kind of higher handicap and game improver section. Now, we're still going to get tons of forgiveness in this. We're also going to get an iron that feels amazing when we hit it as well. And this is one of the most popular irons that we fit here when we're doing fittings for players for Callaway. So it's one that suits quite a wide range of handicaps. Then we move into one of the new irons that came out at the end of last year, which is Apex Pro. So it has kind of been redesigned from the older Apex Pro model that was out. We do have a decent amount of sole width. We've obviously got this hollow head construction, the weighting in there as well, but we're still going to get amazing feel like we'd associate with that Apex kind of franchise that we get from Callaway. Slightly less offset again this time. So probably this and the AI Smoke are ever so slightly less forgiving than the standard Apex, but it's marginal really. Like I say, the Apex is probably going to suit a lot of players' eye who maybe are that traditional golfer, really wants that iron that looks great, sits behind the ball, that forged feel, but also maybe need a little bit of help nowadays. So yeah, that's kind of our mid-range, if you like, with the Callaway series of irons. So the two irons I've singled out in the Callaway range that are kind of more of the player's iron kind of space and category are the new Apex CB and MB, okay? So for obvious reasons, you can see they're much smaller than the ones we've looked at. You can see the sole width is down as well, so less sort of help getting the ball airborne. And also when we look at the kind of top line positions in both of them as well, significantly narrower than what we've seen. So if you're that player who is a pretty good ball striker and someone who is kind of more of a traditionalist when it comes to the way golf clubs look, these are going to tick a lot of boxes for you, to be honest. I think you'd probably more like a combo set of both of these, which is quite an easy thing to do, particularly with this Apex range, and you may even go to Apex Pro in your longer irons if you do need that little bit more help. But yeah, these are not going to be for that player who struggles to get the ball in the air or doesn't hit the middle of the face, because they're just not going to offer that. So I'm going to hit the MB, I'm going to hit something mid-range, and I'm going to hit probably the Big Bertha at the far end as well, and give you a little bit of a feel for how they compare with each other when we hit them here on the Trackman. So the three irons that I chose to showcase the Callaway range were the Apex MB, so kind of right at the bottom end. I chose Paradym Ai Smoke for my kind of middle iron, and then the most forgiving, I went with the Big Bertha. So let's see how we got on. So we can see in terms of the distances, let's go there first, okay? So we can see Apex MB being the shortest, which we'd expect because it's the highest loft. So we're averaging 175 carry with that, 175 total, 187 total with Paradym Ai Smoke, and then you can see 200 yards total with the Big Bertha. All of these were the 7 irons from the sets. Obviously the lofts do differ throughout, but we can see the kind of technological changes in there as well. So we can see the Big Bertha one getting the highest, which it's obviously designed to do. The Apex MB went quite high as well. I suspect that's more down to the loft than anything else. But we can see the spin numbers obviously differ as well, with Apex MB being the highest spin. Like I say, we'd expect that it's the most lofted of all three of these irons. And ball speed's very different, so from 119 miles an hour in Apex MB, a little bit more in 124 in Paradym Ai Smoke, and then over 130 miles an hour ball speed with Big Bertha. So we can see there very, very different ball flights, and when we look at kind of where the shots have finished up as well with the dispersions, we can see with Bertha that bit of offset, everything's finishing a little bit more left of target. When I've hit it, I've just literally picked 3 or 4 shots with each one there for you to have a look at. But yeah, of the kind of 20 or so shots that I've hit with each, yeah, the Big Bertha one, I was struggling to not hit it left really with everything. But yeah, when we look at those numbers, it's kind of what we would expect. And we can see that there are subtle differences between each of these irons. And obviously when you get fitted and try the entire product range, you know, with 9 irons in there, what your fitter will be able to do is kind of very quickly pigeonhole you into certain sets that might suit you, and you might be trying 2 or 3 different irons rather than all 9 in the range. We wouldn't expect you to be doing that at all. We've obviously got other brands to factor into this as well. You know, just in this room, I've got 5 or 6 different brands, all offering product ranges that will suit different types of player and handicapper. If you've got a particular brand in mind, I'm sure a custom fitter will be able to fit you into that brand and find a set that's going to suit you. Like I say, comboing sets of irons is something that we do a hell of a lot of now as well, because what we demand out of a longer iron and a shorter iron can be very, very different. Hopefully you've enjoyed that video. It's been great to test this product range. Like I say, Callaway really has every base covered with all of its irons, but go and get properly custom fitted. Hopefully you've enjoyed that, and we'll see you all very, very soon.